How many times have you used an excuse to justify something you didn't do? How many times have you hidden behind, "I don't have time," "I'm not good enough," or "I can't do this now"? What you might not realize yet is that by feeding these excuses, you're actually sabotaging your own dreams. Every excuse you make is a brick in the wall, separating you from the future you so desperately want to build. And do you know what's even scarier? This wall grows, brick by brick, every time you give in to your limitations. But there's something you can do, something that can completely change the course of your life. Kill your excuses. They're not your allies. On the contrary, they're cruel, sneaky enemies that disguise themselves as comfort, trapping you in a zone that feels safe, but is, in reality, the place where dreams go to die. Every excuse you use is a sign of fear. Fear of failure, fear of not being good enough, fear of trying and not succeeding. And it's okay to feel afraid. It's part of the journey. The problem arises when you let fear control you. Fear is an emotion that needs to be faced, not fed. When you feed fear with excuses, it grows and takes over your life. But when you confront it, you discover it's not as powerful as it seemed. The people you admire, those who've achieved incredible things, also had to face their excuses. They also felt fear. The difference is, they decided not to let it stop them. It wasn't luck, extraordinary talent, or unlimited resources. It was their ability to say no to excuses and yes to action. You don't have to be perfect to start. You don't need all the answers, all the money, or all the time in the world. What you need is to decide you'll no longer use your limitations as crutches. You can start with what you have right now. And do you know what's even more incredible? When you take that first step, even if it's small, the universe seems to conspire in your favor. Opportunities begin to appear. The right people cross your path, and you realize you're stronger and more capable than you ever imagined. How many times have you looked at someone else's success and thought, if I had what they have, I could do it too? The truth is, this comparison is a trap. You don't know what that person went through, how many times they had to kill their own excuses to get where they are. What you see is only the final result, but the process was full of challenges, fears conquered, sleepless nights, and tough choices. Excuses have enormous power, but only if you allow them to. They feed on your inertia, your procrastination, and your fear of making mistakes. But here's the good news. You have the power to kill them. Don't wait for the perfect moment because it will never come. Don't wait for ideal conditions because that's an illusion. The time to act is now, with what you have, in the way you can. And you know what's most amazing? When you decide to act, when you choose to kill your excuses, something magical happens. You start to realize that many of the limitations you thought you had were just illusions. That lack of time, there was always a way to make room for what's important. The lack of resources, creativity has always been a powerful ally. The lack of confidence, it grows as you challenge yourself. Killing your excuses doesn't mean ignoring the real challenges you face. It means facing them head-on, with courage, and finding solutions. It means understanding that you don't have to know everything, have everything, or be everything to start. You just need to take the first step. Excuses don't disappear overnight. They're like weeds that keep trying to grow back, even after you've pulled them out. It's a constant effort, but the more you practice, the easier it becomes to identify when they're creeping in, and the quicker you can eliminate them. Remember, no one will fight for your dreams more than you will. Don't wait for the world to give you permission to live the life you want. Don't wait for someone to hand you opportunities on a silver platter. Life rewards those who act, who dare, who persist. And here's a truth you might not have heard yet. Time is passing, whether you act or not. Every day you spend feeding excuses is one less day you have to build the life you dream of. Don't be fooled by the momentary comfort of an excuse. It's far too costly in the long run. Imagine for a moment the future you want. Picture where you want to be, what you want to have achieved, how you want to feel. Now ask yourself, are the excuses you're making today leading you to that future? Or are they pulling you away from it? You have the power to choose. You can keep feeding the same excuses and living the same results. Or you can decide that today will be different. That today you'll start. Even if it feels hard, even if it feels impossible, the journey won't be easy. There will be days when you'll want to give up. But remember, it's on the hard days that you grow the most. It's in adversity that you discover what you're made of. And when you look back and see how far you've come, you'll realize it was all worth it. So, make a commitment to yourself. Not to others, but to the most important person in your life. You. Decide that you'll no longer accept excuses. That you'll act, even when fear tries to stop you. That you'll fight, even when it feels hard. Because you are capable. You are stronger than you believe, more resilient than you imagine, and closer to success than you think. But to discover this, you need to start. You need to take the first step. You need to kill your excuses. The world needs what you have to offer. Your ideas, your passion, your energy. Don't let excuses bury all of that. Stand up. Face your fears. Say goodbye to your justifications. Killing your excuses isn't just a choice. It's the only path to an extraordinary life. The excuses you tell yourself are stories. Stories that seem to protect you from failure, but actually rob you of your chances of success. They start small, almost harmless. I'm too tired today, or it's not the right time. Before you know it, these small justifications turn into massive walls, separating you from your goals. But today, right now, you have the chance to break down those barriers and change your life forever. Excuses are comfortable. They keep you in a place where nothing needs to be risked, where you don't have to face your fears or feel vulnerable. It's a place of stability, but also of stagnation. You might even feel safe, but deep down, you know you're losing something precious. Progress, growth, the potential to live a full and meaningful life. What you might not yet realize is that excuses are lies disguised as truths. They tell you that you don't have enough, that you're not enough, that the timing isn't right. But none of these things are real. What's real is your ability to transform any situation, to do more with less, to grow even in barren ground. What's real is your power to start right now, building the future you want. Why do we let excuses dominate us? Because they're convenient. They free us from the responsibility of acting, of facing the unknown. When you say, I can't because, what you're really saying is, I'd rather not try because I'm afraid of failing. And failure, it's not the end. It's just a part of the process. Those who fear failure fear learning. Look around you. The people who achieve extraordinary things in life aren't the ones who never face challenges. They're the ones who refuse to give up. They have fears too. They face difficulties too, but they choose to keep going. They turn obstacles into stepping stones and learn to live with the discomfort of growth. And you? Are you willing to do the same? Are you willing to stop justifying your inaction with excuses and start acting, even when it feels hard? Because that's what separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. The The willingness to act despite the circumstances, to try despite the doubts, to keep going despite the stumbles. Don't wait for perfect conditions. Don't wait for a sign or for someone to rescue you from your current reality. The rescue is within you. It's your decision to stand up, to try, to face whatever comes your way. And here's a truth you need to hear. No one will fight for your dreams more than you will. Excuses don't just hold you back in the present. They also destroy your future. Imagine reaching the end of your life and realizing it wasn't a lack of time, money, or resources that kept you from achieving your dreams, but the excuses you chose to feed. That would be devastating, but you still have time. You still have the chance to turn things around and choose a different path. Killing your excuses is an act of courage. It's admitting that you're the only one responsible for your life. It's accepting that while some things are out of your control, there's so much you can do with what you have. And that's more than enough. Think of your biggest desires, the goals you've been avoiding out of fear or procrastination. Now imagine what it would be like if you started today, with small steps, moving in the right direction. In a week, a month, a year, you'd be amazed at how far you've come. The time to act is now, not tomorrow, not when conditions improve. Right now, kill your excuses, take action, and step into the extraordinary life you are meant to live. The journey won't be easy, but it will be worth every second.